This is a spot I came to on the first day when I was here. Came here yesterday, and I just love it because you have the city all here, you know, all around me. Then you take a brief cut through into this. It's like a shortcut, but it ends up being this beautiful walk through this shrine that is just awesome. Like, look at that. Anyway, I thought I'd come in one more time before I leave, because this is probably one of my favourite things that I've seen. It was like a 1 minute walk from my accommodation. This tree here is estimated to be 450 years old, and was even around when there was, during the Great Tokyo Air Raid in 1945. That's why there's this like huge hole here. Crazy. My time in Tokyo had come to its end. It was time to explore somewhere new. Alright, it's time to say goodbye to this hotel room. Time to get on this train. I'm putting the camera away for this part because last time having the camera out, carrying all the bags was stressful as hell. So, pack everything up, get to the train station, and then I'll pull the camera back out. It was stressful as hell. So this time I thought, you know what? Maybe it'll go really well. Maybe it'll be super easy. I'd purchased my ticket a few days before because I was like, I need to be efficient. I want to make sure I don't miss this train. Smooth sailing. I hopped onto the bullet train and kind of found my seat, and as I was sitting there waiting to, you know, take off, this guy came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and he didn't speak a lot of English, and so it was kind of really hard to communicate with him. But essentially, he showed me his ticket, and his ticket was for my seat. Then I showed him my ticket, and my ticket was for my seat. And the times were identical, the tickets were almost identical, but mine just like looked a little bit different. Anyway, I found a person on the train who was, you know, looked like they knew what was going on. They had like, you know, official vest on, but they ended up just assigning me to a new seat, picked up my suitcase, picked up my bag, and went and sat down. And it was great because I didn't have anyone next to me. It was really nice. So after all that craziness, I was kind of just keen to, you know, sit back, and I did. But then something really cool happened. There was high chance on this train ride that I would see Mount Fuji. I thought, you know, maybe I might not see it because of the smog, might not work out. I was on this train, I had a window seat, popped out through this little cave, and there it was. And I was like, holy crap, like, this is what I wanted to see. I want to take a photo of this. I need to take a photo of this. But I needed my big lens. I had a 70-200. It was in my suitcase, which was actually now right behind me because I had just moved seats. On the seat that I was sitting before, my suitcase was impossible to get to. But on this new seat, the suitcase was right there. So I quickly opened it up, pulled out the 70-200, and I snapped this photo of Mount Fuji. And I tell you what, it wasn't the bucket shot for this day, but I was pumped because that was like a secret bucket shot that I had in my mind. I was like, you know what, I really want a photo of Mount Fuji on this trip. Don't know if I'm going to fit it into my schedule. Somehow, it still happened. And I tell you what, I was flipping stoked. So in my head at this point, I was kind of like, you know what, this is a free win. I've already got a really great shot, a shot that I actually really wanted to get, but I didn't know if it was possible. But there was one more spot that I wanted to check out. As I entered the city of Kyoto, gone was this hustle and bustle, and there was this stillness that wasn't quite present in Tokyo. Kyoto was a lot slower. It felt like a bit more of a cultural hub. of Japan. And that was evident in the people, the buildings, the architecture, and just the city itself. I was looking for one specific spot, one specific laneway to be exact. And this laneway leads right up to a temple, this tower. And it's actually a pretty iconic photo spot in Kyoto. It was so busy, and it's always so busy. And even though I'd gotten that photo of Mount Fuji, I think I knew that I wanted this to be bucket shot number 4. But I'd arrived at this tower quite early in the afternoon, and there were swarms of people throughout this whole laneway. And in my head, of course, there was no one else in the photo. It was just the tower and an empty laneway. And as I was standing there looking at this tower, I thought to myself, I have to wait. Like, I need to get this photo with no one there. This is the whole reason why I've come on this trip. I've come here to take these bucket shots, these memorable photos, these photos with stories behind them. And these photos that I can keep and cherish forever. And if I'm just going to sit here and take a photo with all these people in it and walk away, then what's the point? So I waited for a really long time. I think I found a cafe nearby and sat in it for I reckon it was almost 3 hours just waiting. Came out of that cafe, into this street, and it was pretty much empty. There was a few other photographers around who must have been waiting as well. So I kind of just waited for them to all disappear, lined up the shot, and boom, snapped this photo. And that was bucket shot number 4, Hokanji Temple. I was pretty stoked with that one, but it was pretty late at this point, and I had an early rise the next day. So I headed back to my hotel, ready for day number 5.